Good morning, my dear children. Welcome to the biology class. The last class we discussed about the external and internal structure of the heart, and today class we'll study about the double circulation. What is called as double circulation? Okay. What is double circuit heart? The double circulation means when the blood is pumped into the body twice. So that particular cycle or that particular process we'll call it as a double circulation. As that particular heart we'll call it as a double circuit heart. In human beings, the blood is pumped twice into the heart. Once the deoxygenated blood collected by all the body parts by the caval veins, the caval veins are also called as vena cava, and it opens into the right auricle, and this is a left auricle, right ventricle, and then left ventricle. So open into the right auricle, and then once again that is the first circulation, first time. Okay, then when from the right ventricle it goes to the pulmonary artery, from the pulmonary artery it goes to the lungs, and there it gets purified, and once again it is collected by pulmonary vein and it sent back to the heart, and from the left auricle, and it goes to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle systemic aorta and distributed to all the parts of the body. Okay, one is in between body parts and heart, and the second one is between heart and the body parts. As the blood is passing into the heart twice or the two times, that particular circulation we'll call it as a double circulation. That heart is called as a double circuit heart. Okay, yes. So the double circulation is followed by the process called as pulmonary circulation, and the second one is seismic circulation. Okay, first let me say about the pulmonary circulation. What will happen during the pulmonary circulation? So during pulmonary circulation, what will happen means, from the body parts, these are all the body parts, from the body parts, what will happen? The deoxygenated blood is collected. The deoxygenated blood is collected by the large caval vein that is called as vena cava. Okay, or we can also say that caval veins. Okay, that is, what are those vena cava or the caval veins? You already studied superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. It collects the blood from upper parts of the body and the lower parts of the body, and it is open into the right auricle. Okay, yes. So from the right auricle, the deoxygenated blood flows or reaches into the right ventricle. Near the origin of the right ventricle, we studied already, there is a pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve. Through the pulmonary valve, this the blood reaches into the pulmonary aorta. Okay, this is pulmonary artery. From pulmonary artery, the blood goes to the deoxygenated blood. The deoxygenated blood reaches to the lungs. Okay, yes. So that particular process, that particular circulation, we'll call it as a pulmonary circulation. Okay, so in the pulmonary circulation, what will happen, that let me say. Okay, the pulmonary circulation begins from the body parts. Okay, from the body parts, what type of blood it is collected? And it is collected the deoxygenated. Let me explain in the flow chart. Deoxygenated blood. Okay, so the deoxygenated blood collected by the veins, vena cava, collected by let me write this superior as well as inferior. Superior and inferior vena cava collects the deoxygenated blood. Okay, this deoxygenated blood is open into, or the inferior superior vena cavas are open into the right auricle. From right auricle, and it reaches to the right ventricle. From right ventricle, it goes to the lungs. It goes to the lungs through pulmonary artery. It goes to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. This particular circulation, we'll call it as pulmonary circulation. Is it clear, children? The inferior vena cava, and it collects the superior vena, inferior and superior vena cava, collects the deoxygenated blood, open into the right auricle, and from right auricle reaches to right ventricle, from right ventricle through the pulmonary artery it reaches to the lungs. What will happen in the lungs? And it will be gets purified. That part, this is a one time, one flow, one cycle, we can say that, one circulation. That name of that circulation is a pulmonary circulation. Second circulation is systemic circulation. Okay, systemic circulation. What is happening during systemic circulation? What will happen? Okay, yes. So what will happen means in the lungs, the blood it will be gets purified, and the purified blood or oxygenated blood is taken by the pulmonary vein, and pulmonary vein sends this blood into the left auricle, and from left auricle, and it reaches to through the bicuspid wall. This valve is a bicuspid valve. Here the valve is a tricuspid valve. Through the bicuspid valve, and it reaches to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle we can see again there is another valve that is called as a, you studied very clearly. From the left ventricle it reaches to the systemic valve, and through the systemic valve, and it enters into the largest artery in the body, that is called as systemic artery. Systemic artery. So through the systemic artery, where it goes, and once again it oxygenated blood is distributed to all the body process. Okay, without our knowledge, within a fraction of the second, this the circulation, it will be pulmonary circulation is followed by systemic circulation. Okay, yes. During systemic circulation, what will happen? Here the pulmonary circulation begins from the body parts, and here the systemic circulation, it begins from the lungs. Okay, what type of blood is available in the lungs? Oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood is available in the lungs. Okay, oxygenated blood is collected by which vein? Pulmonary vein. Okay, pulmonary vein takes oxygenated blood, and it will be open into the left auricle. Okay, from left auricle it reaches to left ventricle. From left ventricle, where it goes? And it goes to the systemic artery. It reaches to the systemic artery. From the systemic artery, through how it goes means it enters into the systemic artery through systemic valves. Through the systemic valves, so the blood it will be reaches to the systemic artery. From the systemic artery, where it goes? And it goes to the body parts. Okay, children, this is about systemic circulation. As the blood is pumping into the heart, or is coming, it is pouring into the heart in the twice. This particular circulation, we will call it as a double circulation, and we the human beings, we are having the double circuit heart. Got it? Okay, yes. Human beings have, almost all the mammals or all the higher animals, they have this double circulation. Why? Because mammals mammals like we and the apes, they are having four-chambered heart. Whenever there is a four-chambered heart, and I said already, the chambers are separated by the septum to maintain or to prevent the mixing of the oxygenated blood with the deoxygenated blood. It is necessary. The body needs only the oxygenated blood to carry out our metabolic activities, not the deoxygenated blood. So the deoxygenated blood is automatically collected by this vena cava or caval veins, and it will be gets purified, and only oxygenated blood is using during the time of the respiration to deliver the energy and to maintain our metabolic activities. Okay, this type of circulation, we'll call it as a double circulation. Is it clear, children? This is an important short note. This is practice the schematic transfer of the blood. First is from body parts to lungs, and the second is from body parts to heart through lungs, and the next one is lungs to heart, and heart through again the body parts. Okay, yes. So let me explain about how other organisms they maintain this the circulation. Is it all the animals are having the double circulation? No, all the animals are not having the double circulation. Some animals, they'll show only the single circulation. Okay, why? Because The organisms are the lower organisms. The heart has only the 2, 3 and incompletely divided 3-chambered heart. And we the human beings and the mammals and the apes, they have the 4-chambered heart, and they only maintaining this double circulation heart. Okay, yes. So which organisms are having? For example, the first invertebrates, the first group is Pisces. If you see the Pisces, example is fish. Okay, fish has only the 2-chambered heart. 2-chambered heart. Okay, in the second paragraph, all this information is given. As the diagram is not given for you, for your easy understanding, I am drawing the diagram, just make a note. Just see that, no need to draw it. Okay, yes, fish has 2-chambered heart. How this 2-chambered means? These are the auricles and these are the ventricles, and this is the vena cava, sinus venosus, and this is the fish heart. Okay, only the 2 chambers. So this is called as sinus venosus. IC class points these are. The sinus venosus collects the deoxygenated blood from all the body parts of the fish, and it will open into the auricles, and auricles to the ventricles, and this through the ventricles, and it reaches to gills. That's it. Only one time the blood it will be flow. Okay. Yes. If you observe the gills are made up of the blood capillaries. When I am explaining about the respiration topic, I said already. Wherever there are capillaries, there is a chance for exchanging of the gases. Okay, as the gills are made up of this blood capillaries, what will happen? Carbon dioxide, it will be sent up, and oxygen it will be used up, and the carbon dioxide it will be sent out through the gills, operculum, it will be comes out. There is no other flow of the blood in the fish. This type of circulation, we'll call it as a single circulation, and that heart is called as a single circuit heart. Okay, whereas coming to the second group, invertebrates, amphibians. Amphibians, example, frog. If you see the frog has 3-chambered heart. Okay, how this 3-chambered heart means, and we can see the right auricle and the left auricle, and there will be only the ventricle like this. Right auricle, left auricle, only one ventricle, that's it. We don't have the separation for the ventricle. So you know that as usual, the right auricle is a place for the deoxygenated and left auricle is a place for the oxygenated. When this both will be contract, the blood it will be reaches into the ventricle. What type of blood is present in the ventricle? Yes, what type of blood it is present in the ventricle means now the ventricle has filled with the mixed blood. Okay, yes. So from the ventricle, is it frog it takes a mixed blood? In case if the mixed blood is distributed to the body parts of the frog, what will happen? Frog will die. Okay, so the mixed blood is not distributing to the frog, and what is happening means before distributing into the body parts, somewhere it will be gets the purified and it will be distributed to the body parts. Okay, yes. Where of course this is not given in your textbook, for your knowledge I am explaining. Listen, from where this mixed blood gets purified in the frog means the frog body is made up of with a slow slippery nature, because the below the skin of the frog we can see the mucus glands. Okay, yes. So in that cutaneous respiration occurs here, skin, and there the blood it will be gets purified, and from there it will be distributed to all the body parts. Okay, it's not sending back to the heart for the distribution. Okay, in our body the oxygenated blood is sending back to the heart and through the heart, and it is sending back to all the body parts. Okay, here also we can see only the single circuit heart. Okay, yes. Whereas coming to the third one it will be the reptiles, and the reptiles are also has a 4-chambered heart, and except crocodile, and we can say that the 4 ventricles are incompletely divided. Okay, yes. See here, it is completely only ventricle it is like this in the frog, but whereas coming to this, the third group are reptiles. So the reptiles example, anything you can take. What is that called? Crocodile. Okay, garden lizard, calotus or anything. If you see this, they have 4-chambered heart. We can say 4-chambered heart. Okay, but what is the condition here? Ventricle is incompletely divided. But ventricle is incompletely divided. Okay, whenever there is an incomplete division, there is no question of separation here. See, these are the right auricle, this is the right auricle, left auricle, and this two will be open into the ventricle. They are separated like this. Okay, yes, but ventricle is incompletely. Complete division means like this, but it's not complete division. Incompletely division, and so here also there is a chance for the mixed blood, and other areas it will be gets purified. Only that once only the blood it will be sent back. Okay, whereas coming to the fourth groups aves, and fifth group mammals. Okay, aves and mammals, birds and we the human beings, we have the 4-chambered heart, and the 4-chambered heart is separated. Vertical groove and horizontal groove, and there is no chance for the mixing of this the blood, and twice the blood it will be pumped into the heart, and it will be distributed to all the body parts. Okay children, under the side of the diagram this information is given. Please just have a look. In your textbook it is given like that. Fish has 2-chambered heart, and frog has a 3-chambered heart, and the reptiles and we the human beings, reptiles have incompletely, and mammals and aves they have the 4-chambered heart. So wherever there is a 4-chambered heart, then there is no chance for the mixing of oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood, and the blood twice it will be pumped into the heart. Okay, is it clear children? Yes. So the last that's it about this blood circulation, about the regarding double circulation heart. Okay, the next part if you discussed about with what are called arteries and what is called as veins. So that we can by seeing the human being's heart, and we can find we can write 3 or more differences. How you can write the differences means the difference between auricles and ventricles, one short note, and the difference between the right auricle and the left auricle, and the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Okay, yes, the differences it will be given like that. Okay, yes, and again there will be the differences between arteries and the veins. What is the difference between arteries and the veins? Okay, let me say about first auricles and then ventricles. Let me explain. Then I will say about the arteries and the veins. Whereas coming to the right auricle, the size of the right auricle, the last class when I draw the diagram I explained that. Let me say it a little bit faster. The right auricle is a larger in size because it has to be collect all the body parts deoxygenated blood at a time. Okay, so that is the size, it will be the larger. Okay, whereas coming to the walls are little bit larger in size and less in the thickness. Whereas coming to this right ventricle, and the right ventricle size is also the little bit the bigger than. Okay, and if you come to the left auricle size is the small in size, as it is receiving only the oxygenated blood only from the lungs. Here it is from all the body parts. So whereas coming to the left ventricle walls are so thick. Why? Because from the left ventricle the blood has to be pumped to all the body parts. Okay, yes. So let me say about what is the difference between the arteries and the veins. Arteries are having the thicker walls and they are elastic in nature. Okay, usually how these arteries will be means arteries are, they have thick walls. They are thick walls, and the next point we can say that they are elastic in nature. Why they are thick and why they have an elastic? Okay, yes. Why they have the thick walls means, for example, the seismic artery. If you see the seismic artery, it has very thick wall. The reason is here, it has pumped the blood from toe to the top. That is the reason this seismic artery, it has a thicker walls. So what the veins are doing? Veins are only bringing the blood, are collecting the blood, and so they are collecting the blood and simply they are pouring into this heart. That is the reason the veins have the, what is that called, they are not less in thickness and the less in an elasticity. Okay, arteries are thicker and elastic nature will be the more compared to the veins. Okay, yes. Once let me explain about coronary artery. Coronary artery. When it's coming to the coronary artery, what is the duty of this coronary artery? Coronary artery is supplying the blood to the body walls of the heart. Coronary vein is collecting from that deoxygenated blood and it is opening into the right auricle, whereas coming to this coronary artery, taking the oxygenated blood and supplying to all the walls. So usually how this coronary artery means, it has to be thicker walls, thick walls, and it is an elastic. What is the meaning of the elasticity? Just they can expand and they can contract. But in some times, in some cases, wherever there is a obesity problem, whenever there is a fat content or the cholesterol content will be more even in the blood, what will happen means the walls are the deposited with the cholesterol or the fat content. Okay, yes. So whenever the wall is the plastered with this cholesterol or the hard substance, what will happen? Automatically they lost their elasticity. Whenever the walls are just like as in a rubber-like structure, easily we can stretch them. But whenever the wall is not stretchable, automatically due to the stress and due to the high pressure, whenever the artery is like this, the blood easily flow. Whenever the artery wall way it becomes as a narrow, the pressure it will be high, and obviously the hemorrhage occurs to this the coronary artery, and then it leads to the disease called as a heart attack. Okay, children? Yes, that's it about the differences between the arteries and then veins. So, with this we completed how the transportation occur in the human beings. In connected to this, and do you know in the box it is given how you can measure your blood pressure. The blood pressure is also called as the pressure which is exerts by the walls of this arteries against the walls of a vessel, called as the force of the blood pressure exerts against the walls of blood vessels, will call it as blood pressure, and this is also called as hypertension, and this is also called as high BP. Okay, blood pressure we are saying that. Normal blood pressure is, it should be 120/80. Okay, normal adult normal blood pressure. Adult human beings, the blood pressure is the 120/80. Okay, so 120 we will call it as a systolic pressure and 80 we will call it as a diastolic pressure. Okay, systolic pressure is nothing but we will call it a contraction phase, and 80 diastolic pressure it will be called as a relaxation phase. Okay, yes. So how you can measure this the blood pressure means by using an instrument called as an sphygmomanometer. Okay, by using that sphygmomanometer we can measure the blood pressure, and human beings we have to maintain normal blood pressure, that is a 120/80. Whenever the stress it will be more due to the diet and due to the excess eating of this cholesterol content of food, if you are not doing the proper exercises, and all these results to be raised up the blood pressure levels. So you have to maintain the blood pressure proper. Okay, let me explain two minutes about the mechanism of the flow of the blood. How the blood it will be circulates, what makes it. Whenever the blood is filled, first one we can say that, let me just, I'll rub all these things, just you see that, how it will be. So these are the ventricles like this, and these are the auricles. Whenever the right auricle is filled with the deoxygenated blood from all the body parts, and these two are in the relaxed state. Okay, yes. Then when the blood is filled with this right auricle, and through this aperture is guarded with the tricuspid wall, and then it will be open into the right ventricle. Okay, it is open into right ventricle. So both the one point you have to keep in your mind. Of course, this mechanism is not given in your textbook, but to clarify your doubt, how it will be goes. Okay, yes. Whenever these auricles are right auricle is filled with the deoxygenated, left auricle is filled with an oxygenated. When they are in the contracting stage, and these two are in the relaxed stage, and then the blood pumps into right ventricle and the left ventricle. Then these two will be relaxed and these two will be contract. And when once these two starts contract, the blood goes to the pulmonary artery, and from here it goes to the seismic artery. From seismic artery distributed to all the body parts, and from the pulmonary artery it goes to right pulmonary trunk and the left pulmonary trunk, and there it will be gets oxygenated. Okay children, that's all for today. Next class we will see how the transportation takes place in plants.